Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. Firstly, a meeting is in the making. It is being planned between US State Department and some lobbyists who are working in the US, working for Somaliland. They want Somaliland to be recognized by the US. I received this exclusive information through some sources. I want to speak on it. What is US position about Somalia's sovereignty? We know that. What is the significance of this meeting? Secondly, Fano groups yesterday released a video showing captured Ethiopian National Defense Force members. One is from Siddhama. What did the Siddhama ENDF soldiers say? How was he captured? He sent a message to Southerners, people, soldiers of ENDF from southern part of Ethiopia. Firstly, viewers, last night in the live chat, I spoke in detail about meetings in the UK. Focusing on the idea of recognition of Somaliland as a country. It does not mean that UK has decided to recognize Somaliland as a country. We must be clear. Discussions are part of strategy making. I told you about David Cameron's meeting with the former defense secretary who has been a champion of recognition of Somaliland. Given is his name. Then a British news source published a report about these meetings. So UK, it's not that UK is going to recognize Somalia as a country, but discussions are ongoing there. What is happening in the US? While Somaliland is hearing good news from UK, it has stepped up its lobbying efforts in the US as well. Just a few hours ago, I received information about a likely meeting between Somaliland lobbyists and US State Department. Meeting is going to happen in coming days. It has been decided, reported. This is going to be the first meeting between Somaliland lobbyists and US State Department. I am not aware of any meeting before this one. It means Somaliland lobbyists are gaining access to US State Department. By the way, who is behind the organizing of this meeting and what is US official position? US official position is one Somali. It criticized Ethiopia Somaliland MOU, saying it could disrupt the fight against Al-Shabaab. US State Department issued a statement calling for respect for Somalia's territorial integrity and sovereignty. US is supportive of one Somali. At the same time, US wants to have good ties with Somaliland. US has been considering the idea of establishment of a military base in Somaliland. Somaliland has become relevant now because of the confrontation between Houthi fighters, Yemeni Houthi fighters, and Western forces, including US naval forces too. So, the meeting reportedly is going to be between Molly Fee staff. Molly Fee is the US Assistant Secretary of State for Africa Affairs. He's the one who's in charge of US State Department when it comes to East Africa. Very influential, by the way. Molly Fee is more influential than Ethiopian ambassadors in this region. She's more influential than US Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa, Mike Hammer. She has been in this position for some time. We have seen several special envoys come and go. Molly Fee is here. She's very influential. And we know she is supportive of one Somalia policy as well. But Somaliland has stepped up its lobbying efforts. I told you in the live chat last night that Somaliland has hired several lobbying firms, especially in the US, in the parts of the world to get recognition from these countries. Recognition has not come, but at least Somaliland wants to engage itself with the US. Maybe it wants to offer something to the US. Maybe it wants to inform the US State Department about its position regarding unification with Somalia or regarding recognition. So let's see what happens. I'm monitoring this development. I know who is behind the organizing of this meeting. I won't disclose the names. Perhaps it wouldn't be right. But only confirmation is that a US institute, a fellow working there, is basically organizing this meeting. He's mediating between Somaliland lobbyists and US State Department. Overall, I said last night, by the way, in live chat, that Somaliland's case for recognition is gaining international attention now because of the MOU signed by Somaliland with Ethiopia. That is why I say Somaliland won't withdraw from the MOU, no matter what happens, because it is coming under international limelight. It has been seeking recognition for decades. For the first time, it is seeing an opportunity. That is why Somaliland, fully committed to MOU, it has stepped up its lobbying activities in Europe and America to be recognized as a country for which it has been struggling for decades. Secondly, viewers, Fano groups have captured some ENDF soldiers. Not the first time. Fano groups have captured dozens of ENDF soldiers on different occasions. These soldiers are shown in videos. Yesterday, Fano groups released a video of captured ENDF members. One captured ENDF member is from Sidama. He was heard talking about how the ENDF soldiers were taken prisoner by Fano fighters, and he said that in the fight, most of his colleagues died, only a few survived, and he surrendered. And this man from Sidama shared a message to ENDF members who are from southern Ethiopia that they should not be part of the operation against Fano. So he warned other ENDF members from the south, from Sidama, the southern parts. He warned them against becoming part of the war on Fano fighters. Just one point I want to make. Yesterday, Birhanu Jula spoke. He was addressing a gathering at a graduation ceremony of Ethiopian National Defense Force. It was all praise for the capabilities of Ethiopian National Defense Force. He talked about Ethiopia's historical enemies too. That Ethiopia's historical enemies want to weaken Ethiopia, so Ethiopia should be on alert. Whenever Jula speaks about threats to security, he mostly talks about historical enemies. Abiy also talks about historical enemies. Who is Ethiopia's historical enemy? Was Jula talking about Egypt? While external threat is blown out of proportion, I would say, it is projected out of proportion, the internal threats or internal conflicts are downplayed. They're not given this much attention. According to Jubila, both Ola and Fano are no more a national level threat, while his soldiers have been taken prisoner. While ENDF ENDF's mandate in the Amhara region has been renewed for 4 more months. ENDF could not completely restore normalcy, law and order situation in the Amhara region, despite a 6 month long operation. That is why 2 days ago, Ethiopian House of Representatives renewed the state of emergency for 4 more months. So why is that? Jula mainly focuses on external threats, which are tangible in some cases, but main problem, Ethiopian security problem, is inside Ethiopia. This is what is happening, that ENDF soldiers in the custody of Fano fighters. In Oromia, you saw what happened this week. For 5 days, parts of Oromia were totally destabilized. There was no traffic on roads, markets were closed, vehicles were burned, traffic flow suspended, and government was nowhere to be seen. Jula's military was nowhere to be seen. So, yes, militaries are not trained to fight internal insurgencies, by the way, but when all other security institutions fail, then in the end, it's the military which has to tackle the internal challenges. Jula focused on external challenges, downplaying the gravity of situation internally, while internally groups are getting stronger. Fano, Ola, and if it goes on, these groups will pose a serious threat to Ethiopian National Defense Force. You'll see. Thank you for watching.